my living in vain? Is my body in vain? Is my fashion in vain? Is my travel in vain? No, of course not. It's not all in vain. 'Cause after all, let it define.
Lux, 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 Lady Lux, Lady Lux. That's her name, don't wear it out. Lady Lux, Lady Lux. That's her name, don't wear it out. Hopping out the bed, right? Gotta get my tummy tight. I'm gonna get my body wrapped today. That mean you going right.
Let's spin the block to the group home. See what them boys on. Looking out for them men, making them feel like who? Mike Jones. Mike Jones.
Mike Jones.
Mike Jones.
Mike Jones. 4 days and 3 nights. Lux, get your flight right. Tune in to Busy One, 7 p.m. on Wednesday night.
Fashion talk, let's not forget where you get your fashion pick. Latest fashion in the mix. Yeah, you know it's gonna be lit. Ow. 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 Lady Lux. Lady Lux. Lady Lux. Lady Lux. Ow. Ow. Lady Lux.
Yeah.
Jesus. Anyway, how y'all doing out there? I'm glad that you could tune in to the Lady Devine show on Busy One Radio. I got my girls, Juliet and Boom Boom. Miss Boom, y'all. She'll be in here in a minute. And we got our special guest, Remy Pendergrass.
How you doing? How you doing?
And tonight we're talking about coming out of your dark shadow. Some serious topics tonight, y'all. You know, we get serious sometimes. You know? But yeah, everything is going just okay. Let's go. So how you doing today?
I'm blessed in yourself. How you doing?
I'm blessed but just stressed. Woo! Woo!
It has been a day.
It has. It has. That's why I like getting here at 6:30 and getting prepared so I'm not rushing. Because when you rush, just the enemy just be out.
Proper preparation.
Yes.
For performance.
Wow. You said it. What's up, Miss Julie? How your week been?
My week has been good so far. I can't complain.
Good.
Can't complain.
Can't complain because what's the use anyway?
Right.
Yeah. But we woke up this morning, y'all.
That's all that matters.
Who woke up this morning out there? Did y'all wake up this morning?
I did.
Can we get an amen?
Amen.
Yes, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. So tonight's show is sponsored by Healing Touch Center of Cincinnati. Yes, and we offer different programs for the disabled and home health care. So check us out. We got a new website up, healingtouchcincy.com. So check us out now. What's up, Miss Bone?
Girl, out of breath.
Where you flying from? Downtown? She just ran from downtown up there. What?
I was trying to get her on time, girl. You said I had to get on one of them bikes, girl. I ain't know how to put it in, the thing to set up the charging for me. So God help me, and I got here, the Busy One Radio Entertainment with Kimberly Devine. But I'm here, y'all. I'm here.
That you could
My wig was flying everywhere.
Oh,
and
shit.
Yeah, I almost flew off. Shit. But I am here. And I am black, y'all.
it was one of the black days today. The sun was out. We was talking about this rain. We could have the rain go, but the rain leaving. Boom. The sun just right on you. I know I got a tan. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. Oh.
If I got a tan, they won't be able to see that motherfucker.
Oh, shit. So, yeah, tonight, we're talking about a serious topic, coming out of your dark shadows. Have any of you all came out your dark shadows? If you have and you want to talk about it, give me a call, 513-480-9200, and we'll talk about it. So we do have a sensitive subject today. Mr. Remy, you lost your son?
Yes, 2000, January 7, 2014, my son was gunned down in the streets of Avondale. And at that time, he was 19 years old. And at that time, I was just coming home from prison from my knuckleheadedness as a youth. And I missed the most important years of his life. So from the age of 7 to 18, I wasn't there. I was there, but I wasn't there physically. And it just makes you think of all the what ifs, all the things I could have done better to guide him in a different direction when you can't question God's plan.
Yeah, you can. You can.
God gave me 19 years as his assignment, and I just have to be appreciative of those 19 years.
Right, right. So, was his case solved?
No.
Still unsolved. And are they looking into it, or they just put it in the file?
Just put it in the file like they do all the other ones. There's so many unsolved murders in Cincinnati. So many senseless murders in Cincinnati. And
just this last week, oh my goodness.
yes, and if you go back into the history of Cincinnati, we wasn't raised like that. The history of Avondale, downtown, Walnut Hills, Witten Terrace, formerly Finlater Gardens. As a youth, we wasn't going through this. I mean, the worst case scenario, you got jumped. You know, if somebody shot you, you really had to do something.
Yeah, because what happened
It
in
was
fight?
fist fight. Yeah, put them dukes up and let's fight.
There's too many unguided youth in this society right now because they're YouTube raised.
Right. Right.
They're raised by television. You know what I mean? A parent found the easiest babysitter on planet Earth, YouTube,
Right.
the internet, PlayStation.
So was your son involved in any activities that could have caused the incident?
My son he grew up in a rough neighborhood. You know what I mean? He's from downtown. You know what I mean? He mingled amongst the youth of the city at his age, doing what normal kids do. My son was a rapper, so he had a talent about himself that he was passionate about. So
Wow.
his music kept him out of a lot of situations.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just unfortunate that, you know what I mean, that he got into it with somebody that couldn't control their emotions and they took his life.
So they was just having an argument.
No, it wasn't even over an argument. It was just basically somebody set him up.
Oh wow.
You know, it was just jealousy. And a lot of people want what you have.
So they was envious of his rap career.
Envious of his rap career, his style, his charisma, his clothes. You know what I mean? It was a pair of Robin jeans that he had on that I purchased for him.
Mm.
And he passed away in those jeans.
Wow.
And it makes me like, man, and I was always hesitant to, I'm not about to buy no $500 jeans for him. But he was doing everything I've asked of him. School, etc. You know, he was taking care of his children. He was being a man. He didn't.
So he had kids himself.
Yes, I have 3 grandchildren.
Wow.
And he was being a man. taking care. He was about his children, about his lady. He was just growing up too fast.
Is it scary? And I'm asking you all to do we buy our kids things that make others envious of them in today's society?
We try to pacify them as much as possible to keep them from what we went through. Like in those late 70s and early 80s and 90s, like, we couldn't fix our face to ask our mama for a pair of Jordans. What?
Right.
You better get you a pair of them white Reeboks over there.
And K-Swiss.
Or some K-Swiss.
Or coasters.
Right.
Shit.
I never purchased any gym shoes like that.
It wasn't no
But
Jordans back
my
in the day.
parents
Air Max.
did that for
We-
my daughter.
We were an appreciative generation because we were big families back then. We didn't have much regret. Father went to work. He provided for the entire family. He probably had 6, 7 kids in the house.
And some on the side.
And some on the side. But he provided for every last one of them. We don't have that no more. We don't have that no more because the tide has shifted where so many single mothers have generated single mothers that women had no choice but to gain a certain level of testosterone. Because I'm gonna speak for the male species. We lack guidance over our youth.
We do. We well, I can't say we,
I'm
but
speaking for the males.
right.
Because
There-
a lot of us are in penitentiary. A lot of us are in Spring Grove Cemetery. A lot of us are just wandering the streets on drugs. A lot of us are just out here trying to chase the fame that we will never see.
Like they some big superstars like Birdman and all of them.
in
but-
absence in the home.
Right. And absent in the home. And I cannot sit up here and toot no horn because I've been guilty of some of these pleasures. Of some of these sacrifices, some of these gluttonies.
So, and you mentioned that you when we were younger in the households that had the male and the female there, and the male took care of everybody. Where did your lack of that break down? At what point in your life?
My selfishness for being in the streets. My selfish acts caused me to be stripped away of my family.
So
and my freedom.
the selfish acts, and you guys feel free to jump in. Was that caused by the glamorous life of what was presented in the streets?
Being accepted. A lot of people go the wrong route for acceptance.
Being accepted, you had to have the best clothes, you had to have the best woman, you had to have the best car.
And we could not go to school if we didn't have this on. You got laughed at. Back
What?
in the
What you got
80s.
on, polo?
Yes. I've been wearing it all my life because that's all I know. Because I can't adapt to the attention-seeking clothes that our youth so much are trying to make in style today. You know, it's like they have their own style, but you know what I mean, it's degrading.
I just feel like
It's
get what
great.
you can get and afford what you can afford. Because I'm not trying to be out here in no competition because you got on polo. Now I'm supposed to go out here and run and buy Louis Vuitton or something like that. No, I'm going to get what my money can afford me to get. And that's Rainbow, Roses,
Exactly.
City Trend, and a
Exactly.
Goodwill. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And you would never know. You got to know how to put
Exactly.
it together. And you never know where I got it
Exactly.
from. I got on a dress from my mom and I got it from Reeks.
A lot
The Africans.
of people don't understand the sacrifices
All
these
that
parents
materials, though.
made just to pacify their children to keep them out of the street. Well, I'll get you this to keep you out the street. And
Well, I know for
you
me.
spoiled. It's called you're getting spoiled, and there's a lack of discipline. You will not be able to exercise the word no. The minute you tell them no, that's when you're gonna see the real side of a person.
Temper tantrums.
Right.
Disrespect.
Rebellious. Then there's rebellion. Well, I'm grown. I can do what I want. That's the favorite line of these teenagers today. I'm grown. I can do what I want.
Is that before 18 or after?
Yeah, that's up
way
to
before
12.
18.
Shit, 11 to 12.
Man, I'm telling you,
I got a
like,
nephew
They grown at 11 and 12?
Girl
Listen.
smoking weed, everything.
listen, I've seen kids. I'm sitting up here in the doctor's office with my kids, and I see a kid with their kid in the doctor's office. You 16, you 15. You got 2 kids already.
15.
This girl was 15 years old with a
Oh, I
child
see 'em.
and one on the way.
I see him.
There's no guidance.
So where is the guidance? What happened?
It goes generations back. From the 90s, where all of these legend players of the city and all these fathers who went to the penitentiary or just abandoned their families
And the
at
crack.
home. And
That's
drugs.
what it is. That's what
Drugs.
it is. Let me speak from my experience. I know for me, let me touch on the fact of providing for the kids. So I'm guilty of, well, especially with the first, I had 4 kids. With the first 2, I was guilty of overcompensating for where they were lacking from a father being in the household. So I was making sure that I was getting and doing everything that I could to make sure that they felt that they were not in need or for want for nothing. I can honestly say that it backfired, right? Because you are raising at that point entitled children because they're not earning or working to get the things that you are giving them,
They're
right?
expecting it.
Exactly. So now being a grandmother and with their children, you know, I'm coming with a different approach, and then I always get this flack like, well, you didn't do that when we was young. You ain't do this when we was little. You know, this, and I'm like, you know, I'm not perfect, but I know better now. So when you know better, you do better. So that's all I want for y'all is to do and be better. Period.
Whatever you think I didn't do, y'all do it better.
But the lack of guidance, I just feel like he just said, with the men, the fathers being absent from the household, doing time in penitentiary, or just busy living their life being selfish. You know what I'm saying? Not really prioritizing taking care of their kids. That then turns into, you know, you have a lot of people who want to badmouth the women who had to play both roles. Like he said, you know, being a single mom, you got to play mother and father. You know what I'm saying? So then, you know, black women, that's black single women, we get the short end of the stick most of the time. Like, you know, we're so angry, we're so mean. Well, do you think about why that is? Why is that? And why is it that we can't get grace when it comes to that? But on the flip side, y'all not trying to tear these men down when they were the ones who were absent. We do the best that we can with what we got.
So now we have a mentality of women that feel like they're getting their own bag, and if this man wants me, he gotta buy me.
That's the generation that comes next. This generation feels like they don't need anybody because the independence of free will has given them a different mindset on how male and female are compatible. It's almost,
I don't even think compatibility even comes into play. Honestly,
right? It doesn't.
They had to have some type of compatibility to have that baby, right?
Yeah.
Well,
you don't have to have compatibility to have sex.
Right.
I mean, you have something.
I mean, just keeping it real. You don't have compatibility. Don't have no place in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter how long or short the time period is. You can make a baby. You know?
Of course, if you're using it and wrapping it up,
Right.
you can.
You can have sex with a person that you don't like.
That part.
Really?
And that's the problem today because
And that
there's a
person
lot of
pregnant.
people mating with people they don't
Say it.
like.
Say
You
it.
said maybe.
Yes.
Having
Here
children.
come a baby.
Having
Here
children.
come a baby.
Exactly.
They don't like them.
I hate you.
Let me say
But
that
you stuck because of this child.
I can honestly say you can go from, I mean, for some people, love was there. But then as time go on and you really get to know a person and people are changing and growing or not growing,
Fade away.
then you realize, you know, what the hell was I thinking? You know, why did I even, you know, and you realize like you don't like this person. You really don't like them.
But it come to a point when you really don't like them, stop. Because some women, you say you don't like these men, but you constantly laying down with him, keep having motherfucking babies by this man. And now you can't stand this man. But if you couldn't stand the first baby, what made you have a second, third, and fourth baby?
Well, I don't
That's
know
all I'm
about
saying.
that. I don't
Yeah, that's
know.
what I'm saying. That's what some women do. That's what some women do.
From the children, from the ages
I know
of 1 to
some
15,
ages.
right now, 41% of the mother and father have a 10-year or better age difference.
Between
40%?
between who? The parents or
Between the father and the mother, the father. Because there is a whole generation right now that there's ladies out here that can mess with the son, the father, or the grandfather.
okay.
Or the
uncle.
uncles. Or the uncles too.
Okay.
There's a lot of
Cousins too.
There's a lot of cougarism going on.
Cougarism.
Cougarism.
I don't know. For me,
Just look at it.
I agree. You're right.
A
There
whole
are
bunch
women
of-
out here who can date, you know, in a younger age
It's a
group.
whole bunch of sugar daddies.
But I just feel like
Sugar mama.
this is what I think, honestly, when I see stuff like that. When it's an older woman and a younger man, I just feel like the woman is just trying to get her rocks out. But when it's the reverse, when it's an older man and a younger woman, and this is just my perspective, and I could be wrong, but when it's an older man and a younger woman, I just feel like there's some manipulation there. Especially if it's a really young lady, like in her 20s. You know what I'm saying? Just getting her feet wet.
Money.
You know, I just feel like they just want to try to mold them into being what they want them to be for them.
Everything is based on money. There's a high percentage of women out here that you cannot get their attention unless you pay
Pay
a
more
bill.
money. Yeah. Unless you got a nice car. Or money or cars. That's
Right.
what I mean.
That's
I ain't
what-
fucking with him if he ain't got no money
Right.
and no cars, but I've never been that type of woman.
That's
That's
an
what they
image.
doing now.
So it drives a whole bunch of males to do outlandish things to keep up
Just
this
to-
image, including
you can't
sacrificing
even-
their families.
Now
You
that's
got it.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, because
That's crazy.
you already know that.
I've seen so many people sacrifice their families for being a player.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
All right, y'all. We gotta take it back. We'll be right
It's
back.
true.
Getting ready to hit the night on the town with your friends? Ooh wee, looking good, girl. But you're missing something, baby. You're missing that Lady Devine lipstick, honey. It goes on smooth, gives you full coverage, and it's smudge proof. It's a beautiful way to top off that red gown that you're wearing tonight. It sure does. The fragrance is not only beautiful and feminine, but it's also long-lasting, and it is guaranteed to get the heads turning anytime you walk past. Lady Devine perfume and Devine Essentials lipstick. Look at you, girl.
Your lips, they got me going hard flips. You got me floating. Your lips, they got me going hard flips. You got me floating. Your lips, your lips, your
Lux, lady Lux. That's her name, don't wear it out. Lady Lux. That's her name, don't wear it out. Lux.
Do you have belly rolls like this? Do you have the chicken wing arm like this? Or experience fat rolls like this? I suggest you try Devine Essentials Lipo in a Jar. Brought to you by Devine Lux. Lipo in a jar slims your body, firms your body, reduces cellulite, and burns fat, all at the same time.
Hey y'all, thanks again for tuning in to Busy One Radio, the Lady Devine Show. I have my girls with me tonight, Miss Julia and Miss Boom.
Boom!
She keeps disappearing. I don't know. She came up, she ran up here from downtown. So where's she running to now? I don't know. But we have our special guest, Mr. Remy Pendergrass, that's here also. And we're talking about he lost his son that was 19, was gunned down. They haven't solved the murder. In just the perspective of men and women relationships and what's going on, what was going on back in the day, and then what's going on today. Yeah.
So do you get involved with all of the like the stop the violence, put the guns down, the parents who lost children?
I've gone to a few of the victims of crime meetings, and there's not enough resources. I'm just going to put it like that. The city is not investing in victims of crime. There's not enough unity amongst black people to even come together for a certain situation like this until a loved one of yours is there.
Mm-hmm. That's sad.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
It takes for someone to lose someone
To get involved.
And it's an endless fight. But I coach a lot of my friends because I have a lot of friends that have lost children.
Wow.
And
So you have your own group.
it's not a group, it's just, I mean,
But when you say
I'm a
coaching,
person you can,
you're available to talk.
Man, if you want to go on my voicemail, just scream to the top of your lungs, let it out.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the mountaintop like Yosemite Sam and screamed to the top of my lungs too.
Mm-hmm. And you have an outlet also. You do poetry.
Yes, I do.
So that helps you in keeping your mental together also, right?
It does, because there's a lot of things I can't say to one person that I can say to a crowd full of people. Like, say for instance in a relationship, I wouldn't be able to, I'd be scared to talk to you because in fear of you throwing my vulnerabilities back into my face. But I can take this piece of paper and this pen and I can just throw all my vulnerabilities on this paper with my eyes closed and just recite it back to you in an artistic form.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a talent that I don't take for granted. And I thank God every day for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's special. You have an outlet because many don't have outlets. And like you said, they can call your phone and just scream up to the top of their lungs on your voicemail because they don't know where to go.
Right.
Who to talk to.
But
the city's not being supportive.
What
it's
the
bad.
problem is, there's a lot of people that are going through this darkness, but when you ask them what's going on, in fear of showing weakness, grief,
being judged,
anger, or shame, I'm okay. With a smile on your face. But I'm ready to go downtown and jump off the Prince Spence Bridge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm constantly fighting through it. I'll tell you in a heartbeat, I am fine and blessed. As soon as I get out of this interview, when I get in my truck, I will mess around and break down.
Uh-huh. I have done it before, witness.
Yeah. And I mean, it's good that, you know, you can let your feelings flow.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you hold all of that bottled up inside of you,
there's too many people in this world that feels alone in a crowd of people.
alone in a crowd of people.
You know what? June is Men's Mental Health Month. So it's good that you're here talking about this.
Let's talk about
So, like, after your son's murder, what did that do to you mentally? Did you seek help for it? Did you talk to anybody, or how did you deal? How did you handle or cope with that?
I got on my knees and I prayed. I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried. And depression is real.
Very much so.
I used to judge people like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Depressed? About what? We getting money. Until something that close is that's wasted. It's a piece of your heart you can't replace. And your heart doesn't beat correctly without that piece. And it sends you on a wave of depression because you're going through the most 4 used emotions that a human can use: anger, fear, grief, and shame. I'm angry because my son is gone. I'm angry because I can't do nothing about it. I fear this will happen to me. I fear that I can't be a father to my existing child because my depression won't allow me to function like an everyday human.
Wow.
The grief of it will send you under. The shame of not being there more than what you were. Those 4 emotions can take somebody under. And men's mental health is not recognized because we're expected to be strong. We're expected to push through. No matter what's going on, we're expected to provide.
Yep.
Getting beat up all day in the street to come home to just get beat up some more. There's a lot of men that's checking out as far as suicide, divorce, abandonment. Abandonment is a big word in a small dictionary because that has a lot to do with mental health because a lot of us generation and us been abandoned too. So how are we supposed to be a father if we ain't never had a father? How are we supposed to be a father to a child when we learned how to be a father from our mother?
Me and my son was just having this conversation today.
Yes.
Literally having this conversation today.
So that's why these generation of men are so emotional at this point. Because they were raised by emotion instead of discipline. We used to fear our fathers. What? Oh, daddy coming? Oh.
Yep.
Daddy's ass whooping didn't compare to mama's ass whooping. We didn't want that from
I
daddy.
never got daddy's whoopings. I always got mama's whoopings.
I take mama's whooping any day over pops.
No.
I always got my mama whooping.
So
that they have no fear.
lack of discipline.
They have no fear.
There's no fear whatsoever because the simple fact that they growing up in an alone environment, being raised by social media.
And a lot of these families are not spiritual. I'm just putting it out there.
There's the lack of spirituality.
They're not made to go to church like we had to go to church every Sunday morning.
It don't matter what you put
We didn't have a choice in the matter.
We had no
shoes,
choice.
clothes.
We didn't have a choice.
Go as he is.
We have.
We didn't have a choice. We didn't have a choice.
I know
We don't do that now.
there's a lot of young people that don't even know the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah. But they know how to shake their ass and bounce it and pop it and
They rap those
Every
songs.
side, all the bullshit.
Parents-
robbing or stealing.
Parents these days are
Killing.
giving these kids choices and amenities. Getting a phone at 13 years old was unheard of as a child
Yeah.
in our generation.
Phone wasn't even out like that when we
It
was,
wasn't.
when we
But
was growing up. It was house phone.
The thing was a pager.
Well,
Yeah,
that's,
my
Or you got your own phone in your room.
that's
Yeah.
really the biggest difference between our generation and the generation that we're raising. Because when we were coming up, we didn't have all the distractions. There was no internet,
None of
no
that.
social media. You know, if something happened, by the time you get to school the next day, people gonna be talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Or you can call somebody on the phone,
Right.
the house phone.
House phone.
You know?
If I
Or the
didn't
phone
answer,
booth.
I just wasn't home.
All the phone booth. It wasn't even no answer machines and shit back then.
This right here made the world lazy.
I wish they take all this shit away though.
It made it too. It made life too.
Go back to how it used to be.
Confused.
Even 2-year-olds know how to work these damn phones now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my baby had the phones.
If the internet was to shut down today, who
Well,
would
they
survive?
died.
A lot of people.
A lot of people
lost.
died. They
There
lost.
was
talking about crashing
nobody
out.
under 30 that would survive.
Yeah.
Look, they crashed out when they remember when they messed up the internet when everybody's phones went out. It's a lot of people's phones went out. Oh girl, they was going. Oh, it was like something horrible. My phone, the internet, Facebook gone. This gone. Instagram. All the,
That's the darkness.
for real?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the
the
darkness.
phone?
That's
There you
the
go.
darkness.
That's the darkness.
I'm glad that shit went out. I wish they'd take all this shit away.
The darkness of a generation of women not needing a man. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, we talked about
I ain't
it.
gonna say I don't need no man.
Well,
Listen,
I don't think it's
need-
our generation.
It's not our
I
generation.
think
it's like
it's the generation after us that
Well, these
you know,
30s and 20s, 30s.
You
they,
got
don't,
a
they
whole-
don't need a man because they can get their own bag.
There's a whole bunch
You
of
know.
parents still trying to live their life while parenting. And
Yeah,
you
still in
can't
the
do
clubs.
both. You either gonna be a parent or you gonna be out in the street.
And let's be honest, it's a lot of women that want to be with women, men that want to be with men. We are lost.
They are confused. My granny, rest in peace, used to say, they confused out here. That's what she used to say.
We're a lost generation. I mean,
There's a lot of women that will promote that men are sissified, but if you look at the percentage of homosexuality, women represent the higher percentage.
I can believe it. I can believe it. They don't need a man.
I'm gay because I don't want to be with you. I'm gay because I don't want to give you no money. I'm gay because I said no.
See,
There's a whole
means no.
generation of people that don't,
No means
that
no.
cannot take the word no.
This is facts. This is facts. Speaking as a mid 30-year-old man, if you deny a woman, that's her go-to comment.
You gay.
Wow.
Because you ain't giving her no money, you gay.
You gay.
Not because you ain't giving her no attention.
That's what I'm
You ain't giving her
saying.
no
And women hate when they don't get attention. Most of them got to get attention about wearing these clothes out here. Let's talk about that with their asses and shit hanging out.
Exactly. And
You
then
know
when
what I'm
they
saying? Y'all think y'all get that attention because a man gonna
It's
be with
time
y'all?
bomb tactics.
Come on now.
And then when it don't work,
Yeah.
That's when- oh,
you
you
gay,
gay.
you a sissy or
That's
you a punk.
where
or-
the time bomb tactics
Yeah.
come in.
Yeah.
You use anger as a weapon of control. You insult others to build yourself up, etc. You know, you're gonna promote me into the ground before your ill intentions and your ill mistakes come out. To where the point where I'm already drowning in the fire of controversy. The whole thing is off of you,
Right.
and you the whole cause of it.
Wow.
And it's vice versa. There's men out there doing it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got some men. Yeah, men out here. No, what we talked about last time. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And they don't want to admit it though. How you have a job, you got a nice car, you got a nice apartment, but you study as the women for shit. I don't get it.
That's a womanizer.
I don't get it. That too, as well. You know what I'm saying? I put them all together. Shit. Nice or wears one moon nights or whatever. All together. I see that all the time. And then if you don't give it to them, they don't want to fuck with you. Hold on.
I'm cool.
I'm good.
You see it on both sides. You see it on
so
both
it's
sides.
50-50.
There's men out here that been raised by all women and they don't know nothing but the emotion of a woman.
Right. That's
So all you see, if you see a whole bunch of women to a man with their hand out, obviously, okay, you gonna be like, okay, mama, what's up? You gonna be looking for a mother in your woman.
Oh. Yeah.
You looking for a mother in your woman.
Some of them say,
you know that saying where it says, I want you to be, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't even want
you gotta be like my mother.
My mother, because then you, I wouldn't want you to look at me.
I would not want no woman to be anything like my mother, because there is no one that's going to compare to her.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm not going to put anyone on that pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where a lot of people go wrong, putting people on a pedestal that they don't belong on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it comes back to people messing with people they hate. All because of image.
Wow.
All because of lust and gluttony. A lot of people mistake lust for love. Good sex is not love.
Right.
It's just lust and sex and boom.
You gotta keep it in those categories, because you got to deal with the reality of it.
Well, a lot of people don't have the capacity or the bandwidth to be in control of their emotions. A lot of people can't manage their emotions, so they be all over the place with it. And that causes a lot of strife and turmoil when dealing with the opposite sex. Like if you cannot control your emotions, if you are emotionally unstable, there is absolutely no way that you should be dealing with another person until you get yourself together.
Exactly. Come healed.
Yes.
Come healed. Because I've made that mistake of rushing too fast. Comfortability.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't got comfortable. Oh yeah, she cooked clean, you know what I mean? She chills, laid back. But I'm dealing with a whole cycle. I'm dealing with a whole cycle. There's cycles out here with OCDs too. So you can't let that be cooking and cleaning and, you know what I mean, taking care of home be the only thing and characteristic that you see in a woman. Because I can cook clean and do all that myself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they kill me talking, I cook, I clean, I do this, and so what? And so do everybody else.
I went a decade without sex, so I can't. I'm not pressed.
Palmer.
Now,
that's good. How was that? You went a decade without sex.
I was in prison.
Okay. Okay. I thought you was out here doing something.
No,
I went but were y'all in prison?
Because it opens your eyes to what you took for granted of a woman. Missing that warm touch at night, missing that sensitivity where you just talking to a bunch of hard men that's angry at the world. That teaches you what you take for granted of a woman, and it teaches you how to appreciate it more. You would never want that to go away again.
Oh, I got a question.
They will make okay, But so when a man comes out of prison and then he just hangs around a bunch of women, they will mistake that as him being a player. No, I just spent 10 years around niggas. I just want sensitivity and peace.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't even provide that because you have an anger management issue.
Mm.
That's why you can't pay attention to the mental health issues and the numbers, because there's so many people that's undiagnosed.
It is.
Girl, what is it?
Okay. Is this true? When y'all go to jail, has somebody ever tried you?
No.
Because you know, you hear a lot of guys saying that, like, man, you got to go in there, you got to be tough. Because if they see you a punk, look like a punk or whatever, they going to try you.
No.
Okay.
It's not.
Because I hear a lot of people saying that.
I did
And then
10
I know
and
a
a
lot of
half.
people.
I did 10 and a half years in federal prison. Now, there's 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, you know what I mean, people that's just never going home, and they're just a menace to society.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You have a couple of those, but there's not what everybody say, that all the faggotry they say that's going on in jail. Now, all of that ain't really going on for real, for real. There's some.
It's some.
But it's not at the percentage that everybody's promoting it is. You know? Because you're so separated and segregated. It gets real because you're dealing with race now.
Mm.
You go over in a penitentiary, like I was in Leavenworth Maximum in Kansas, and blacks had to hang with blacks, Mexicans with Mexicans, white boys with white boys, and you know what I mean? Everybody was just clicked up. And it made me understand gang mentality. And because for the life of me, I did not understand why would you join a gang. For the life of me before I went to prison. And I had to sit up there and watch the structure of unity between races, that it gave me a lesson on how to come together.
Mm-hmm. So the gang was your family?
No,
It's
I
not?
never, ever, not once in my life, and never will join
the
a gang.
gang.
It was just no choice in the matter. It's either that or you're gonna die in there.
Mm.
You know, it's serious about that, because the respect level goes up. Everything gets more serious.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can lose your life over the smallest thing just off of principle.
Mm.
And there's no principle in life out here or outside.
Say that again.
Because so if some of that discipline in the penitentiary was out here, this world would be a little bit better. Because when someone instills discipline, when a man instills discipline out here and he's been to jail, they want to say he's institutionalized. How am I institutionalized? And I don't live life like I'm in jail. Because I took the discipline from jail and brought it with me and left everything out. I'm institutionalized. Just because I said no to you, I'm institutionalized. Wow. Because I won't do or confide in what you want me to do. I'm institutionalized. I'm rebellious. You know, it's stereotype. And we living in a stereotypical world right now.
Did you speak on why you went to jail? I know you said being out in the streets and stuff like that, but what did you do? Was you selling drugs? Was you...
I did 10 and a half years for armed bank robbery.
Okay. Just be real. Being honest. I was say one or the other.
I was a loose cannon in the street back in my days, and I learned a valuable lesson.
So we have 5 minutes left. Would you be willing to give us one of your poetry poems?
Sure.
Yes. And don't forget, y'all, this month is Men's Mental Health Month.
And don't forget, he has done a few of my comedy shows with his poetry.
Check in on your peoples.
Yes. And I do poetry as well.
That's all
I'm coming.
poetry.
Kim
I
gonna
don't know
sing.
what to give.
And the man's different. Flow from your head.
I wrote this piece. It's called No Pity. I was talking about the heartlessness of my city, of Cincinnati. I wrote this piece and it was dedicated to the late Sam DeBow. He was a brethren of mine, and I wrote this for him before his funeral. There's no pity in my city. I'm from the slums where fiends and bums beg for crumbs because there's no help in my city. There's no unity. The TV got outgrown, looking not so sexy in my city. There's no justice nor peace in my city. If you feel me, you can look at my eyes and see the pain, the shame I have for my city. Don't get it twisted, I'm gonna grind for my city. Do what I gotta do for my family and my city. But can everyone do the same? You see, I know the history of my city. Cincinnati is its original name. There's no respect in the game in my city. The police is racially corrupt in my city. Since you didn't lock up Ray Tinsley, you got a lot of angry black people in my city. Cincinnati is such a beautiful city. It used to be the best place to raise a family. Yeah, downtown, Barn Hill, Wanted Hills, Avondale, Lincoln Heights. Zone 15.
I was gonna say that.
But don't get it fucked up. You can get lumped up in my city. Messing around one of these young boys will wet your ass up in my city. You missing out on so much talent in my city. The majority of the music you listen to today was originated in my city. Not to mention that the invention of music, of funk, was originated in my city. Cincinnati is such a beautiful city. That's that piece.
Thank you. Snap.
Yeah.
We want to thank you for tuning in to the Lady Devine Show on Busy Boy Radio, and we thank our guest Remy Pendergrass. We pray that one day you will have an answer for your son.
Yeah.
God has already given me my answer. I'm already at peace.
That's beautiful. Thank you, sisters, for tuning in, for coming. Julia
I
and
appreciate you
Miss
having
Boom
me.
They
Boom.
kept hollering. I kept hearing them holler my name. Boom, boom.
And we'll see you next week. Maybe next week we'll have this together. I don't know. The devil's busy.
Check me out, Remy Pendergrass, on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Warning Shot Sounds.
It's Devine.